Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing a speed build of a house inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender characters. I made each room and the exterior of the house all inspired by some of my favorite characters from the show. I actually first built this a few months ago, but I had to send my laptop in for a repair. I actually procrastinated on it for a while, so I built this house and recorded the speed build, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna send in my laptop today. And then a week would go by, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna send it in. And I didn't have a mic yet. Actually, I ordered a mic from Amazon, and then it came, and there was only one piece of the mic in the box. So I had to reorder it and also send my laptop back for a repair. So that's why I'm actually recording the voiceover about 2 months late, maybe 3 months late. Anyway, here it is. I haven't looked at this house in a while. I do have a sim who's living here, and I played her for like a week in game, and I really love this house. The outside of this house is inspired by Katara. The walls, all of the actual exterior, but the patio furniture and things like that are inspired by Lvly. Those two are my favorite characters from the whole series. I didn't watch Atla until I was an adult, actually. I kind of wish I'd watched it as a kid, but also everyone I know who watched it as a kid really disliked Katara. And I think part of the reason for that is like when you're a kid, you would see her as like the bossy character who doesn't want to have any fun. But watching it as an adult, I really liked her. She was the one who kind of held the group together, and she was still a really fun character on her own, and she's so strong. She's such a strong character. I love Katara. So the outside is inspired by her, and I included a lot of blue and white and glass and water and things like that. I was kind of inspired by the Northern Water tribe that we see at the end of season 1. If you haven't watched Avatar, I'll try to keep it vague. I'll try to keep the actual references to a minimum. It's a really good show, and I think you should watch it. Like I said, I didn't watch it until I was an adult, and I still really loved it. Lvly is my other favorite character. I think I like Lvly a bit more than Katara, and the reason for that is that I practice circus arts. So I grew up doing gymnastics and ballet and jazz dance, and as an adult I still practice dance, but I'm more focusing on contortion and trapeze. So I love Lvly. As soon as I saw her, I was like, yes, circus girl. And every scene that she's in, I just love her. I'm like rooting for her even though she's technically on the bad guy's side. I love Lvly. So I'm actually pretty proud of the exterior of this house. Exteriors aren't really my favorite thing to do. I've been trying to get more creative with them, but interiors are still my favorite. So I was happy with how like the roofing and the windows and everything worked out. I tried to do this thing with waterfalls here for Katara, but it wasn't really happening. So I went back and forth on that for a little bit, and then I decided to just add things like fountains and a little pond to bring in the water. If I were an avatar, I think I'd be a waterbender, definitely. Even though my zodiac sign is Capricorn and that's a goat, but like it's a sea goat, so I kind of see that as me being a waterbender, like on the side. I'd probably live in the Earth Kingdom though. Oh no, that means I'd be a swamp bender. I'm gonna have to rethink this. But I'm a waterbender. I think the second thing that I would be, like if I weren't a waterbender, would be an airbender. Here's the little pond. I like putting flowers and rocks around little ponds like this. Oh, paths. Paths like this are really hard to make with terrain paint, but I tried. And then just putting all the rocks and flowers there. I wanted to use a lot of blue in the flowers here. You'll see I always use big open windows like this. My Sims don't get any privacy. I don't like curtains in the game. The curtains in the game aren't really nice. There's only maybe like 1 or 2 that I actually like, so I usually just leave them open. Okay, now we're on the Lvly patio furniture and the outdoor furniture. So for Lvly, I used a lot of pink and brown and a little bit of white. There's a fountain that I used for Katara, and there's also going to be a workout area on the upstairs deck. I love putting this house together. I use a lot of the same lights and candles that I use in a lot of things, like those pink candles from the holiday pack. Those are really nice. I use those in almost every build. And then I love this little campfire thing. I like to include that in some of my bigger builds where some of my like bougie Sims might live, or any vacation spots. I built a winter villa a few months ago and I put that there, as well as like some outdoor retreat activities. That was fun. I usually do a lot of stop motion builds on my channel and I'm going to continue those. I just wanted to make a video where I can actually talk. So I'm going to do some themed builds like this one and also build challenges. I'm really looking forward to ones like the 10-minute build challenge and stuff. That seems really fun. Oh, now we're on the interior. First I'm just setting up the floor plan. There's a really big living room in this build, and I knew from the very first inspiration of this house that I wanted the living room to be inspired by Appa. I love Appa. He's definitely one of my favorite characters, and Appa's Lost Days were my favorite episodes of the whole series. Oh my god, Uncle Iroh. I need a minute. I love Iroh so much. There's gonna be 2 rooms inspired by Iroh actually, but Appa gets the big living room and I did that in a lot of brown and white colors for Appa. I've also decided that in the future when I get pets, I'm going to name them Appa and Momo. I'm thinking I'm gonna get one Australian Shepherd and name that one Appa, and then a little ginger cat, and I would name that cat Momo. So first, here's an entrance hall area. I like having a spot in my bigger houses where the Sims can take off their shoes and hang their jackets and stuff like that. And I like putting a lot of the wall decorations, like I love those horizontal lines. I think those are either from Get Together or Eco Lifestyle. I think these ones are Get Together though. No, sorry. They're from Get Famous, I think. But yeah, I love setting up a little shoe area. I'm so happy about the Snowy Escape update where my Sims can take off their shoes. I was using mods for that before the Snowy Escape pack came out. Snowy Escape is like my favorite pack. Actually, it's kind of tied with city living. I'm a city girl. I could never live in the suburbs. I love cities. And so, yeah, I love city living. So I really loved decorating this room. As I said, I love interiors a lot more than exteriors. And I love putting together like the different color schemes. And I'm not a huge fan of clutter. I usually like more minimalist spaces, but depending on the build, that could change. This is somewhere in between. It's not super cluttered, but it's not really minimalist. I just wanted a lot of warm colors and to try to stay true to the characters in some way. And for Appa, the way I did that was to just make a comfortable living room that he could probably fit in. It's a really big living room. Appa could fly into there. If you've never watched Atla, I'm sorry, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but I highly recommend it. So yeah, on my channel, other than the speed builds and the stop motion builds, I'm going to try out a few more things. One thing will be a sort of aesthetic music-based video where you follow a Sim around a different world or doing some kind of activity that they can do in The Sims, like fishing, for example. And it would just be a relaxing video, something you could put on while you're studying or working, and then you look at it occasionally and you see a pretty video of a Sim walking around one of the worlds. And so I'm excited to put that together. And another thing I'm going to try to do with my channel is a renovation challenge where I take a family and put them into a really basic starter home or apartment, probably homes because the apartments will be easier to finish and I want it to be a challenge. So I'll put them in the starter home, and goal is to have a list of things that I want to renovate by the time they have a baby and that baby turns into a child. So the minute that the toddler ages up into a child, the challenge is over and I win or lose based on whether I've completed renovating everything on the list. Now we're on to the Iroh dining room and the Iroh kitchen. He gets both because he deserves both. So I put a lot of brown and green into this room, and then in the kitchen it's more white and green. I wanted this to be cozy, and I tried to include tea wherever I could since that's Iroh's thing. I love tea as well, although I drink coffee more than tea because I need coffee to function. Oh my god. I love these little candles. I think they're from the patio pack or backyard stuff. No, I think they're from Perfect Patio. I love those candles. I use them in every build. I love that candle. It comes in so many swatches. I've been going on about a candle for a minute now. was kind of hard to pick the wallpaper for this room, but I definitely wanted something with green, so I decided on this stone wallpaper. I really like that one. And now we're in the kitchen. Oh, okay, it looks like I'm doing brown and white, and there's green as well. So this one is also Iroh inspired. I loved decorating this kitchen, and there's actually a lofted space above it. There's a ladder that's going to lead to the parents' bedroom. And in the lofted space above, there's a lot of flowers and pretty lights. You'll see. So there's tea, and I love those cookbooks, that cookbook clutter from Cool Kitchen Stuff. Cool Kitchen Stuff has a lot of good clutter. I love decorating the edges of cabinets. Oh man, this video. So I recorded this before I learned how to place things exactly where you want them on counters. So if you're watching this and you don't know, you put it on the counter just wherever it slots in, and then you move the counter out of the way, and then you can take the object and move it, and it will stay like hovering in the air at the height of the counter, and then you can move it exactly where you want and put the counter back in place. I didn't know that while I made this video, so I did something weird with like shelves and then putting a shelf in there and raising the shelf. It's a whole mess. But it works, so it's fine. I was just making things harder on myself. That's what I tend to do in Sims builds, because there are so many things that I didn't know how to do until I started watching Sims YouTubers, because I grew up playing The Sims on PS2 actually. I started with Sims Bustin' Out, or maybe Sims 1, I'm not sure actually, but Bustin' Out was my favorite growing up, and Herbs. Freaking loved Herbs. But yeah, Sims 4 is my first time playing on PC, and so there were a lot of little things that I didn't know how to do. Like, I didn't know that if you hold Alt down, you can place things wherever you want. I did not know these things. And I did not know how to do like roofs and everything like that. I just got Sims 4 in the summer of 2019, so a bit later than everyone else. I had like a break from The Sims, maybe like a 5-year break between Sims 3 and when I got Sims 4. I just wasn't really, I just had to like focus on work a lot, so I wasn't really gaming at all. But I'm happy I got back into it. I have a Legacy that I've been playing with for the past 2 years, and I'm in love with them. I play on, not necessarily, like I don't have the long, like I have custom aging, I guess you would call it. I just age them up when I'm ready. I'll age up my Sims, and then I'll turn aging on for the unplayed Sims, so that their friends and significant others or whatever who don't live in the house can age up. Now up here, it's a pretty big hallway, but I put a laundry area and some pet stuff here. There's one pet food bowl downstairs, so you can bring a furry friend into this build. Up here is going to be the kids' room and bathroom. This kid is lucky, they get their own full bathroom. The hallway is still inspired by Appa, which I thought made sense since there's pet stuff in it. And then the kids' bedroom and bathroom are both inspired by Sokka. When I first started this build, I was intending to make all of the rooms different. I was gonna make each bathroom be a different character as well, but I forgot. So I was going to make the upstairs bathroom here be Zuko, and I was gonna make it red and black. I was gonna make the bathroom for Zuko because he's like a little shithead. So I love Zuko, but you know, in the first 2 seasons, he needs to do a lot of growth. So, but I forgot, so it's a Sokka bathroom. And I brought in the blue from the Water Tribe again, but I also incorporated brown instead of white like I did for Katara on the outside. I put the science set because, as we all know, Sokka is an inventor, and I wanted him to have that. So there's a desk and a science lab table thing here. So actually, I lost part of the video, but this bedroom is inspired by Aang, and now looking back on it, maybe I should have done it. Maybe I should have done it as like orange and blue. I don't know why I picked green and white, but I think it still works for Aang because he's very like light and airy, and it's a loft bedroom too. So he's already up high, like he's flying, and yeah, so I thought this suited Aang, even though it's not the colors that he wears. And this is an Aang bathroom as well, and this is where I incorporated the beige from his uniform from the clothes that he wears. So there's a little bit of that in here as well. I just don't have the blue from his arrows, but I think it worked out. So here's a tour of the house. It's pretty. We're almost done touring the build, so I hope you liked the speed build, and if you want more, give me a follow. I'll have more builds up soon, stop motions and speed builds, challenges, and more themed builds like this. I'm also hoping to get out my renovation challenge soon. It'll be a let's play style video, and also the aesthetic music traveler sort of videos. So if you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.